At this point, what we will do is go over how to perform a screen capture using Camtasia. There are going to be several steps that we're going to go through in this video series. First, we'll need to find out how we need to access the Camtasia Record mode. Then we'll go into selecting our actual record dimensions. We'll enable the audio and webcam settings to desired levels and adjust the audio levels as well. We'll also finish the record option just by clicking F10 during the recording. We'll preview our captured video, and then lastly we'll have the ability to choose one of three options. One of those options being sending the video off to be further edited within Camtasia Studio. So let's go ahead and dig deep into that at this next portion. For those of you who are using Windows 7, you'll want to go to the Start icon at the bottom left hand side. Typically you'll want to click on the search box down at the bottom left hand side and type in Camtasia. And as you start typing, you'll notice that there are two versions of Camtasia, which of course these are the same program. They just have different functions for the same program. There's the record option, and then there's Camtasia Studio 8. In this case, we'll choose Camtasia Record. And now we have the Camtasia Record function that has appeared. So this is our hub that we're going to work with in order to actually perform a screen capture. Within this hub, you'll see that there's two different selections. There's Select Area and Recording Inputs. Our first area of focus will be to look at the screen selection area. The items that are around the perimeter of our screen, the dashed green bar, that represents your screen capture selection. I, of course, could manually drag up and down these side arrows or the side squares or the corner squares to adjust it. And you'll notice that it maintains the aspect ratio for the dimensions. And the reason why that's going on is because there's a link right here. If I unchink the link or release them, then that unlocks the aspect ratio, and thus I could resize it however I want. Of course, this is probably not the best option. In fact, I would leave it at full screen. And the reason why we were leaving it at full screen is because we've already sized the resolution. Remember from earlier, we right-clicked, screen resolution, and I've manually selected 1280 by 720 because I am planning on putting this on YouTube. So I'll leave it at full screen, but again, you could create a custom setting, or you could choose any of these settings, 720 HD, 1280 by 720. And of course, as you see, it doesn't change at all because we've already set the screen resolution of our video. Within the recording input section, you'll notice that in this case I have webcam is currently off. I can tell A because it says webcam off, and B because it has an X on the webcam. If I don't see a check, that signifies that that item is not engaged. Now I've already plugged in the USB cable for this webcam, thus it should enable when I click on it. So I'll go ahead and just click on the icon, and that will enable the webcam. Now if the function is not working, then you might want to click on the drop-down menu to choose the webcam. In this case, I have a Logitech Webcam Pro 9000, and hopefully it will engage. There it is. So there's a preview of, hey guys, of myself in this webcam. So that is definitely going to capture me during the actual recording. Also available is the audio. Audio on means, of course, that it's enabled, and I can click on the drop-down arrow to expose what exactly is enabled. At this point, I have an analog microphone that's connected via USB to my computer that is currently working. So this microphone's Editor's Keys SL150, and that's what we have in the Media Center for our studio edit rooms. Also, I have record system audio with a check mark. That signifies that if I have YouTube playing in the background, or if I have animation noises in PowerPoint, or any other system audio from my computer that I'm capturing at the moment, it'll actually pick up the clicks and all the animation noise that's there. So this might be something that you're interested in or not. Otherwise, just make sure that you have your narrative device that you're going to use, say the analog audio SL150, or even maybe a Sennheiser headset, whatever you might be using to capture audio with. Make sure it's got a dot next to it. And also, make sure that you have levels. So if you notice that the green bar ever goes past this little tab here, which you can toggle up and down to control the loudness of your audio, if you notice that it ever turns red or goes into this end area here where my mouse is, that would signify that you're definitely blasting out the audio too loud. So you want to make sure that it stays green when you're talking into it, and that it's coming close to the midpoint inside of your audio adjust bar. If everything looks good, then you're set to go. As far as more technical issues that you might be having with your audio or webcam, you might want to make sure that everything's plugged in, that you have everything function the way that you want it. And I might be able to work with you on the side. If you come to the Media Center, I could definitely do that, especially if you have any of our equipment checked out. At this point, you are ready to actually begin the record process. And as you might have guessed, to begin the record process, all you have to do is click record. So we'll click the red record button, and it tells us press F10 to stop the recording, so make sure we do that. And at this point, anything that's within the screen that I'm capturing is being captured. So interestingly enough, I'm using two programs to capture at the same time, both Jing and also Camtasia. And you could capture anything you'd want, so maybe we could go to calc, I'll type in calculator, and we can capture how to use the calculator, for example. So how do you add 9 plus 4? Well, I'll just click on 9, then look for the plus sign, 4 equals. After you showed your students or your future audience the process, then you need to stop the record option. So simply hit F10, or you could bring up Camtasia Record again just by clicking on this and then hit stop. Now if you have a single monitor, that might be an issue because whatever you bring up, that's going to show up inside of your capture session while you're capturing. So I would recommend using the hotkey or shortcut key F10 to stop record. So I'm going to click stop. And at this point, anything that's within the screen that I'm capturing is being captured. So interestingly enough, I'm using two programs to capture at the same time, both Jing and also Camtasia. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video, and at this point, we have the ability to choose three options. One, we could choose delete, we could choose produce, or we could choose save and edit. If we choose delete, that's obviously going to cancel the actual production, so anything that we've recorded is forever gone. If we choose produce, then that's going to allow us to actually save the video, and it's not save for edit, but rather save to send off to our final destination. May that be YouTube, Vimeo, or any other ShareStream site, whatever you might be doing with it. Lastly, the third option is save and edit. Now if we click save and edit, that'll take it directly into Camtasia for us to further work on. And I'll go over that momentarily in the next session.